Today, I am going to explain an English-language neo-noir mystery thriller movie, The Reef Stalked, released in the year 2022. The movie is about a group of friends who plan a diving adventure visiting various islands, but things change horribly when sharks start stalking them and keeps following them wherever they head to. But before we begin to tell you this amazing story, please make sure to subscribe our channel so that you are updated with all the new exciting movie recaps we release in the coming weeks, and beware of the spoilers. The movie opens with a group of 4 friends, Nick, Kath, Lisa, and Jody, who like diving as their hobby and are seen fishing and diving in the ocean. When they come to the surface after catching the fish, they take a group selfie and leave the ocean. On their way to the cars, the girls talk to Kath about her husband and how he will one day accompany them on dives after he realizes what diving means to her. Kath finds Greg in front of her and gets sad, indicating something is wrong. Greg takes her from there, and when the girls separate, Nick notices that Greg is getting mad at Kath. She tries to contact her but fails. Nick returns home and meets her younger sister, Annie. She is talking to Annie when Kath asks her to visit her. Nick arrives at Kath's house and finds her husband has killed her by drowning her in the bathtub. The movie shifts 8 months later when we see Nick reuniting with her friends, Lisa and Jody, on an island. Nick pretends to be happy in front of them, but the girls comprehend that Nick has not yet recovered from the trauma of her sister's demise. Suddenly, Annie appears there and reveals she is here to surprise her. Nick then spots their group picture with Kath there and gets sad. Nick insists on going to her room and recalling how her sister died. Next, Nick is staring at the ocean when Annie approaches her and tries to cheer her mood by stating that she is learning to cook. After a while, Lisa arrives and takes Annie with her. The next day, the girls continue their journey to paddle across different islands, and Annie gets tired after learning that they will have to paddle for 3 days. Finally, they get into their kayaks and paddle toward the first island. After a while, Annie gets tired, and when Nick offers her help, Annie lies to her and denies accepting the aid. The girls then stop at a place for fishing when Annie decides to stay on land. When Lisa and Jody dive down, Nick stays on the surface, and when she tries to dive, Kath's death scene runs before her eyes, and she gets scared. On the other side, Annie feels something inside the water, and when Lisa approaches, she helps her get on her boat. Lisa and Annie are sitting on their kayaks when Annie spots a shark around their kayaks. She warns Nick and Jody, who has caught a fish. Nick and Jody sense something is wrong and safely return to their kayaks. When asked, Annie informs them that she has only seen the edge of the shark's fin and cannot guess its size. Nick and Jody leave to get the fish cooked for lunch while they ask Annie and Lisa to follow them slowly. After Nick and Jody leave, Lisa comforts Annie, asking her not to worry about the shark. Soon, Annie is left behind, and when he finds the shark approaching her kayak, the paddle slips from her hand. She gets scared while picking up the paddle, and when she picks it up, the shark turns her kayak upside down. Annie falls into the water, but the shark is distracted. Lisa spots her and rushes back to save Annie while she is trying to get on her kayak. When Lisa reaches Annie, the shark capsizes her kayak, too, making her fall into the water. The shark attacks Annie, but she manages to get back on her kayak before the shark may bite her leg. Suddenly, Nick spots Lisa and Annie in trouble, so she and Jody rush to save them. Before Lisa can reach Annie's boat, the shark attacks and kills her in the water. Annie is thrilled to see Lisa die, but then Nick and Jody arrive. Jody gets sad after losing her best friend, while Nick saves her sister and helps her turn the boat right. Nick spots the children playing on the shore and asks Jody to save them from the shark. Jody paddles faster to save Demi and her brother, who are playing on the shore. The shark follows Jody's boat, but she passes toward the kids. Demi's brother jumps into the water, while Demi spots the shark and guides her mother to help her brother escape. When Demi's brother safely reaches land, the shark attacks Demi's boat and breaks it. Demi gets attacked while Jody arrives and rescues her. Annie and Nick follow her, and they hand over Demi to her mother. Annie accompanies Demi's mother and becomes concerned after looking at her wounds. When asked, Demi's mother informs the girls that her husband and his friend are gone for a few days, and they don't have any access to the telephone or the internet to get some help. Annie is worried for Dimmy, so she asks about the boat, and Dimmy's mother leads her to a small motorboat. Nick states that the motorboat is not enough for them to make their way to the next island and get help. Annie thinks of attaching the kayaks on the side to make the boat more stable. Annie and Nick bring the boat to the shore, and Nick tries to stop her from doing what she is thinking. Annie opposes this and leaves with Jody to get the kayaks. When Jody and Annie are done attaching the boats, Nick comes and asks her sister to stop. Annie gets mad and states that she does not know and taunts her for not properly knowing her sister and best friend, Kath. Nick is shocked after listening to this and informs Annie that she is coming with them. Annie asks her not to do this, but Nick insists, and the trio continues its journey. They reach the middle of the ocean when the motor of their boat runs out of oil. Nick gets mad at Annie for being the reason for getting them here, but she replies that she has done something on her behalf instead of walking away, as she did after Kath's death. Jody calms the sisters and suggests them to paddle if they want to live. The girls continue paddling when Nick asks Annie what she means by saying she did not know Kath, and neither does she know Annie. Annie gets sad and explains how she left her alone with her mother, and they had to deal with the trauma of Kath's death on their own. Nick feels sorry over this, and when Annie feels that the boat is filling with water, she picks up a bucket and starts throwing the water out into the ocean, but the shark attacks their boat, causing Annie to fall into the water. Nick gets scared after seeing her sister struggling in the water, so she jumps in and rescues her. When they return to the boat, Nick hugs Annie and apologizes for leaving her alone. After a while, the girls are concerned about the shark, and Nick suggests that it is not going to leave them until they face it and kill it. She asks Jody for the fish she took earlier and decided to use it as bait on the porch of one of their kayaks. They set the bait, and after waiting for a while, they decide to continue paddling, thinking the shark is gone. Suddenly, the shark reappears and gets into the trap set by the girls, and the shark drowns with the kayak. The trio gets excited that the shark is dead, and when they start paddling again, the shark arrives and strikes the boat. Jody loses her balance and falls into the water, but before the shark may attack her, Jody climbs back up. Nick calms Jody and notices that water is getting inside the boat, so she asks Annie to help her trap the shark in a net. Nick guides Annie, and the sisters bind her inside the net as the shark returns to the attack. Annie loses her balance and gets trapped inside the net with the shark. Nick jumps into the water to save her and recalls how Kath was killed by her husband. Nick regains her senses and picks up the mashie given to her by Dimmy's mother. Nick attacks and kills the shark, but until then, Annie has stopped breathing. Nick picks her up and brings her to the surface. When Nick gets sad looking at Annie, she awakens immediately and spits out the water from her lungs. The scene shifts to one day later when we see the trio at the beach when they receive a video call from Dimmy, who tries to talk to them but the call disconnects. The girls then pay tribute to Kath and Lisa, stating that they will always be with them, and the movie ends here. Overall, The Reef Stalked is a great movie to watch with an amazing storyline, so make sure to check it out. To watch many more exciting recaps like this, don't forget to subscribe, as that's the only way we can keep making these fantastic recaps, and like this video. Let us know in the comments section about your next favorite movie that you would like us to recap. Thanks again for watching, and stay